Uh, so I let Sal share his screen so that we can go through it a little bit quicker, probably. So where do you guys want to start?
Keith, what were your issues? I hate the word issues, concerns, questions. You seem to have the same questions I did, that weren't exactly getting answered. Because you've been trading a while, correct?
I have experience trading stocks, albeit not very successful, close to break even, maybe a little under. And then also I did that for, I don't know, maybe a year. And then I traded options for close to a year, and same thing. And that's what brought me to futures. I'm like, oh, I want to find something. So I was day trading, number one, and that requires split-second decisions. And so I started to realize that, maybe I'm not good at split-second decisions, and that kind of makes sense with my personality, because I like to overanalyze and consider all the pros and cons before I make a decision, right?
Sure.
I go to the nth level of detail to make decisions, and when I'm forced to make a decision split second, I tend to not make good decisions, and especially with trading and when money's on the line, emotions start getting in the way, and get scared, get a little greedy sometimes. So yeah.
Well, that's why we're looking for these certain rules.
Yeah, but as far as the technical aspects of what we're doing here, I totally understand it. I understand charting. I understand, how to use the platform for the most part. So I understand all that. What I'm looking for is help with making the soft decisions, the soft info. Do I take this trade or not?
Yeah, that's where we came across the same thing, because I've back tested these every which way to Sunday, these two bonds.
I refuse to pay $2,000 to have access, to Fred beyond what I already have access to him for. And one of the other members told me that, he paid the $2,000 and he still is evasive with him, and doesn't really give him hard answers. It's hard to pin Fred down to an answer when it involves
a trade.
Yeah. And
I'll tell you what my favorite what I was telling Chris was, and I've been doing this a while, both same thing. And then finally last 18 months, I kind of dedicated myself to it, and I've seen my success rate go up a lot, where I'm very comfortable swing trading, and, I got a really nice win rate.
and what do you trade?
Swing trading.
No, what do you trade?
Swing trading in stocks. Yeah, I haven't done commodities. The market's too volatile. I did options, but I was like you. It was too whipsaw, so I stopped trading them until probably when we're in the next bull run. I might go look at them again. But this was always intriguing, and Chris brought it by me, and I'm just like, yeah, this is interesting. I think we batted around for 4 or 5 months. And then finally, I was like, let's take a shot, Just your antenna goes up when you see somebody saying these 1,000% returns. So that was kind of an antenna. I get his system. It's very easy. It's just 2 indicators, and you got to understand support and resistance. And you basically just got to, it's like any other trade. You got to find patterns that repeat. My issue came in was when we first ran them, I was like, oh, this is great. Back testing is one thing. There's not much emotion in it. And I tried to really put the screen where it was like real time.
That's what I did when I back tested. When I'm making a decision on a potential setup bar, I don't see any of the bars in the future to that bar.
Yeah, and
I tried to simulate it and make it as real as possible. What I didn't want to do, and that's what he did. If you've watched that hour-long back testing video that he likes to refer people to, without giving a specific answer, he says, go watch that video. He's talking about a bar where he has full visibility of future bars. So he knows what the outcome of
I
that
know.
decision would be when he talks about it. I'm like, what good is that? That doesn't help me.
No, and that was my issue I raised with Chris is,
Well, it helps in the beginning, but
yeah.
once you move past that, then the
Right,
forward
right,
testing,
exactly.
a forward testing video would have been better. He
Well,
doesn't seem like he's put the time into that, but.
yeah, but what you and I spoke about, Chris, was, but again, we must throw all our concerns out there. I was concerned he was doing a Bernie Madoff on us, which was, he was posting his trades after a trade happened and showing his win, you know, after he does them.
That's
What, and
exactly the concern that I've had and still have, because when he posts those trades, you know, it clearly states in a hypothetical situation. He never takes ownership of those trades. He doesn't say these are my trades. He says these are in a hypothetical situation. You know what I mean? And it's always days or sometimes weeks after the fact when he posts it.
yeah,
Yeah,
most of his trades, and when I back tested, I don't know if you did it, but when we back tested, most of his trades broke one rule or the other, or two rules. I mean, there was stuff that I couldn't even, I had big spreadsheets on, you know, all his factors that he talked about through his course and stuff like that. And, you know, a lot of his wins, especially on bonds and stuff, were just, you know,
There was a couple pieces missing. He
lot
went
of-
against some of his rules.
yeah, there was some that, you know, rule one, you know, was broken. You know, there weren't crosses. There were, you know, ADX was at 13. You know, it's
We
like
put
kind of
that
like,
question to him recently, matter of fact, and he basically says, well, you know, when you gain experience from back testing and forward testing, you'll know when you can break your rules, is essentially what he says.
yeah, that makes it difficult for people trying to figure a system out too, though.
Right.
You won't be taking many trades. My biggest question, I mean, you know, I think Chris is waiting to get his call with him, was, you know, his screen, his time frames, where he's doing his trades, this no man's land, and not taking trades that if you can't see anything below it. You know, I'm trying to set my charts up like his for 3.5 months, and, you know, and we do it, and then all of a sudden he's taking trades that we can't take.
Yeah.
According to his rules.
According to his rules, you know, he's posted them, and that's what's confusing. I'm like, he'd be better if he just didn't post any of his trades, because I back test every trade he does, and I back tested his whole 2022, you know, to go try to figure out what his pattern was and what his biggest indicator was, where he's, you know, took a swing. You know, and the best I can find out that I noticed one pattern he does is he doesn't necessarily wait for the cross, which is rule one. Like if the lines are on top of each other, stay away, wait for the clear cross. He's in it.
We've put that question to him as well, and same evasive answer, you know.
That's rule one.
Don't pay attention to the indicators. You should be looking at price. But the whole system is based on the indicators.
Yeah, it's cross or swing high, swing low, cross, 2 bars in your direction, and then you look at support and, you know, obviously support and resistance.
ADX also.
Well, yeah, ADX and DMI, but, you know, I've seen him throw that out the window on
On a
multiple
couple.
trades.
Yeah.
You know, if he thinks he's in a winning position, you know. I've seen him take simultaneous trades, which I picked up, and Chris and I were talking about. I mean, like, meaning he's in one, and even before that trade's over, he's in the other one.
So he's using a bar.
Any trade of his, I haven't back tested them. I've been focused on me being able to do it. Since you've looked at all of his trades, has there been any of his trades, supposed trades, that had a risk of less than 5% on a $5,000 account, or even a $10,000 account?
I brought that up to Chris Wong. I said, I don't get this 2% thing. I said, well, there's nothing to trade.
Keith found
I
too.
pinned him down on that starting on Thursday. I finally got a response out of him yesterday. I said, because he said, if it doesn't meet the 5% max risk, don't take the trade. Wait. I'm like, so I came back
Of the
and
five.
said, if I had waited for that condition, I wouldn't have taken any trades in 2022 for corn or bonds. All the trades that I took had a risk of higher than 5% for
What did
even
he
a
say?
$10,000 account.
What did he say? What was his
He
answer?
finally came back and said, basically what the whole point of that post that I made was that, you know, with the win rate at least 70% or higher, as long as, you know, you're going to win 7 out of 10 trades. The only concern is, you know, when you first start out at the outset, you know, if you have a string of losses right out of the gate,
You're
it
out
can
of
close
money.
your account, essentially is what he's saying.
So in other words, when you first start, it's be ultra cautious. Maybe the first year you might make 4 trades and make some money. And then when you get the win rate up, you'll take a bigger risk than 5%.
Essentially,
That
yeah.
sounds like to me.
Yeah, he just
So,
posted that yesterday because I put it to him again, my comment to his reply to me on, I think, Friday. I showed him, well, I didn't have any trades less than 5%. He didn't say anything because that's when he had his debacle of a live event.
yeah,
If you even got a glimpse of it, it wasn't a live event. It was a pre-recorded event that he was showing live. I'm like,
Right.
that's not live. But anyway, he didn't say anything. So then I came back. I waited the weekend, and I came back. What was yesterday? Monday, right? I came back yesterday and said, you know, I understand you had that live event on Friday or Thursday, and then you had the, you know, with the faux pas, and then you were recovering on Friday. Please answer this question. And I re-showed it, and he answered, but still pretty evasive
right,
in my book.
right.
Do
Well,
I think
how did
there's potential with this system? I do, but it's a lot more discretionary than he led me to believe before I
Yeah.
enrolled.
Yeah, there's when Chris and I first started, I said, man, it's all about the details. There's nuances we don't know. And that became clear when he posted his trades and I back tested his trades. Remember that, Chris?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I'm just like, I put it in red. There was like columns of red of trades I didn't take. I'm like, I have no idea why he took this. I don't get it. I don't know why, or vice versa. Every rule was hit and he didn't take it.
So you
And
have
it-
that in a spreadsheet, Sal?
And it was a losing trade. Yeah, Chris probably has it.
Yeah, I think, let me look.
One of the
One of them.
original ones. Yeah, the original.
You probably have the chart too, Sal, if you want to
Right.
pull that up.
I'm
I
just.
can share with you a spreadsheet that I use for back testing and forward testing where it automatically, you enter the price as a decimal, even though it's a carat, and it's built into my formulas that calculate the number of ticks for the move from the entry price, which is the close of the setup bar, to either the profit target or the stop loss, and it'll tell you automatically what the risk is, you know, based on the stop loss and your entry price. It calculates that difference, and then I also show that as a percent of whatever the account balance. There's a field where I can put an account balance to show for each trade what is the percent risk for each trade. What's the dollar amount? What's the number of ticks? What's the dollar amount? And what's the percent for each one? It automatically calculates that because I built that so to streamline my my back testing and forward testing because I didn't want to waste time drawing a green line on the chart to calculate that. That takes time, right? Because it's hard to do it accurately. Then you got to go into it and tweak the numbers to get it right. And then you got to capture that number separately. I've got it automated so that happens. I can send you a template that does that. It makes it.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, mine was really, I went through each trade and went through each factor and gave it green or red. And then I matched it against his. You know, and there were a lot of the same trades that I took as he did.
Are you in Trade Navigator?
Yeah. Yep. I downloaded Trade Navigator.
Do you have the gold or the standard?
Standard.
Standard, that's what I have. I think the gold allows you to download the data. It's not clear on the website what data you can download, but if it would include all the indicator data, man, we could get that data and do all the calculations on every bar and you know, set the formula up and apply it all the way down for all the data for however long we want to do it.
which is great. It's still going to be, as I told Chris, I said, you know what? I'm not ready to, I mean, trust me, I'm always ready to trade, but I'm not comfortable with this system yet because
Yeah, me either.
it doesn't make sense. Like, it makes sense, but I feel like we're still missing something.
Well, here's the question: is what if he never really gives us a clear answer? I think the three of us exploring this together, maybe Sal, do you have the chart that shows? I have the spreadsheet that shows his trades, but do you have the chart where we got the greens and the reds?
Yeah, but I think I took it, yeah. I don't think we did red, this is bonds.
Okay, let me look for bonds too.
I can't remember. I've gone through these several times, so I can't tell if these have Fred's trades in it or these are the ones we took.
Okay.
So I'd have to go through it. So I'm not prepared with the chart to do
Okay.
that. But
You're not updated to yesterday either. Or yeah, you are 1:30, right? That's yesterday.
yeah, I'm definitely updated here. Now, forward testing, just with some of his indicators and I guess with my knowledge was, you know, we don't have a ton of trades, but we found oats has been really a good chart for us. I'll pull it up here.
You mentioned yesterday, or Sal, yesterday, I think you said, I'll know. You said, I think I got him figured out, especially if he takes the trade from.
He didn't. Yeah, so here's the corn trade. So he took this one right here, 124.
The big bull bar right there.
Yeah, he took 124.
Now, was there a crossover right there?
It's on top of each other. That's what I'm saying. It never really crossed,
But he took it.
but he took it.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, the blue was higher than the red moving average
right.
on that.
Not
white
just
bar.
not just that, but you know, red's going towards blue on DMI.
Right.
Blue's just flat. One of them's supposed to be moving away from the other one.
Right.
In which it's supposed to be doing. So that's not really convincing, like to take a trade. But he took it, and I'm going to guess what he did. So he took it and won this one. So this is the one I wanted to see if he took. So this is more of a clear go signal, according to him. You got two white bars here. ADX is up. DMI
Blue's moving away from red.
DMIs all look good. 2 out of 3. You know, you still, with this line up here, even though it goes back further, you still got this range on the screen where he doesn't call it no man's land, where there's nothing below.
Are those? Did you draw those lines manually, or is that some type of Fibonacci? I can't. It looks like it's manual.
They're mine. They're trend lines I put in.
Okay. Like support and resistance.
Yes, these are support and resistance. You know, this is a technique I use for swing trading. This is called an inside bar. This big move here, and then until it breaks out, see these black lines? Until it breaks out and confirms in either direction, it's just ranging in here. So I just put it in just to take a peek at it from my other stuff. So anyway, I wouldn't have been looking because it keeps coming into this resistance right here where this black line is.
So he didn't take that on the 26th.
I refreshed, not unless he posts it later. But I'm saying the question would be like, why didn't he take it?
It could be sideways action, you know.
Yeah, but he took this one.
He did take that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he made it 2 bars later because the top wick reached the profit target.
Yeah,
Right.
made about he made 300. So his trades I have here in purple. We took the other ones he took before we knew he took them.
Right.
On corn. So again, I'm just trying to. I can't pin him down. That drives me nuts. There's got to be something consistent in what he does.
Unless so here's a working theory of mine, and this is just between us three. and the fence post right over there. You know, when you look at $5,000 per student times 2 per week, which is very feasible, that's $10,000 a week, over $500,000 a year, with little to no effort on his part because the course is automated, right?
It's old.
He monitors it, but he doesn't add any value to it that's not already built into the course that's been in place for years, right? He's making $500,000 a year. Is he an expert in this system? He could have picked this up from anybody. He sold it as it's a very definitive system with very little discretion, which what I'm finding is not to be the case. But he doesn't even need to trade this stuff. All he has to do is go back and review the previous week and say, oh yeah, here in a hypothetical situation, here's a trade. Let me put this on the list. Here's how much it made. You know, that's what I think.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I raised the same question to Chris, jokingly, like Bernie Madoff. You know, he never made the trades. He sent out the documents to his clients that he was making all these great trades, but I don't know if you ever watched the story on him, but he would go next day. He would go the next day, look at the newspaper and log the trades in on people's accounts, and send it out like they were making money, but he never traded any money.
Right.
So, I mean, it's.
Now, that being said, the back testing and the forward testing so far that we've done has been 70 to 80 or more of wins.
Right,
So
same here.
there's something here.
That and I feel the same way. There's something here that we can, you know, we
There's
can
a
be
lot
successful with this, but there's a lot more nuance to it.
Yes, there's
that
more
requires
nuance than there is.
experience.
Yeah, there's more nuance than there is hardcore. These are the indicators. All these have to match up, and then you go.
Right.
Which,
Now, just one more thing on the conspiracy theory. You know, for me,
sure.
the one thing he could do that would convince me that he's totally legit is he could say, hey guys, I put on this trade last night on bonds based on these conditions. This is why.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Yeah.
100% with it. Agree. 100%.
Yeah.
If I were a betting man, I would bet against that happening.
Yeah.
I do. I don't know. I don't know if he's. I'm not saying he's crooked. I lean to the fact that he's older.
Okay.
It's like he doesn't need to do it.
And he's lazy.
You know, he plays with his grandkids. He's like doing, but you know, that could be a catch too. You know, like he's doing you a favor. Like, yeah, here, I'll play with you guys a little bit. You know, and post some trades and, you know, but his whole persona of don't do what I do what I say. That's an issue for me.
Yeah, because it doesn't work.
Right.
It works, but it doesn't work. Well, no, because everything, if you put it all together with the 2% and all that,
I
then it
wouldn't
wouldn't.
I wouldn't have taken the trade last year if I followed
Yeah.
the rules to the T.
Correct. Correct.
I don't know, $5,000 account. No.
So that being said, maybe we tweak this thing ourselves. We sell our own course and we make $500,000 a year.
I'm not going to confirm nor deny that I've had those thoughts.
We could actually get more students than he does because he's terrible at marketing.
Well, it's not just that, support too.
Support is a big thing
When
because
he
we
says
offer
the
better
answer-
support.
He says
So
the
anyway,
answer.
so Chris, you brought us together so that we could come up with a list of questions to put to Fred.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, see if maybe we can find some rules in here that we're not noticing. 'Cause if he's not going to be clear enough with us, we got to find them ourselves, and we're going to have to do this on our own. It seems like we're already doing pretty well with it. So let's figure something out that works, and we'll know more in the forward testing. How long you been forward testing, Keith?
Right at 90 days now with only bonds. My
Okay.
corn back testing wasn't successful enough to give me confidence to move forward. So
What's your win rate and loss rate on the bonds in 90
right
days?
now, 5 trades since November 2nd, I think.
Okay.
80%. 4 wins, 1 loss.
Okay. Do you want to go through that real quick?
And-
Sal,
What was your,
Yeah, I
how
can.
much stick to the course on those?
I believe everybody has the ability to share their screen. So,
Yeah, I'll bring up my, my spreadsheet and we'll walk through them real quick and then we'll switch back to the chart.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you want, Sal, you want to put the chart up, and Keith, if you go through the dates and your spreadsheet, we'll see if we can find ones that you didn't take, see some that we did, and go from there.
All right, that's my back testing.
Because I know we back tested, while you were forward testing, we were back testing the same dates.
Okay. Yeah. So I've got it, I've got my log up. You know, I keep two separate tabs in my spreadsheet where I have a journal tab where I journal my decision. Did I take the trade or not take the trade, and why? And what was the outcome of that decision? Was it good? Meaning I stayed out and it would have been a loss, or I got in and it was a win? Or did I miss the opportunity? That's another outcome where I stayed
Right.
out of a trade and it would have been profitable, or it was bad. I got into
Right.
a trade that lost.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's that tab. And then I track whether it reaches PT2 or not, profit target 2.
Okay.
So I show that on my screen. It looks like you do too here on the screen I'm looking at. Oh, is that my screen? No, that's yours.
That's Sal's.
That's Sal's.
And
Yeah,
that's
he's got
bonds.
PT2. But I log PT1 as the profit, but I track each trade to see if it went to PT2 or not.
What was your percentage? You only did 5 trades, so what was your percentage that it went to PT2?
Let's see, PT2. 1, 2 out of the 5 trades went to PT2. The 2 other ones, one was a time stop. There were 3 bars that didn't ping either the profit or the loss. So I entered a move for the next day.
Okay.
And then the other one, it spooked me, so I just exited on a move on the 2nd or 3rd day, I think. Let's see, how many days? Doesn't tell me. 1 day, yeah, the next day I got out because it spooked me.
You spooked in a day. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I'm still very emotional.
Okay. So what's your first date that you started forward testing?
11:10.
You want to go to 11:10, Sal?
Yeah, on my screen.
That's 11:4. There we go. 11:10. Okay.
Yep. The closing price 124.2, 124 tack 2. Yep, that's your close price. Stop loss was 119.27. Do you see that? 119.
Yep.
Where is it?
Buy
Okay.
stop.
So the risk for that trade it's astronomical, $4,218.75. It's 135 ticks for risk because it's such a big bar. And
So
it was 21% of a $20,000 account.
yeah, that's a big risk. Now we stayed out of that. I think we waited, right, Sal, because that candle was too big, right?
Yeah. Did we stay out? I don't even remember.
But it went past. If you look at your chart and you go back to the beginning of you go back to the second to last day of October and the day before that, and you can kind of see with the upper wick on the first day of November, there's some resistance there, right?
Right.
Yeah. No, it
So
looks like
I said, well, that blew past the resistance. And
Yeah,
one of the things I found for me that makes a difference is if there's a big wick between the entry price and the profit target, or a big wick to the stop loss, that makes it too risky. If
Right.
it's too far to the profit target, oftentimes
Right.
I'll skip that because the wick's too long.
Yes.
Because it's based off the high of that or the low of that bar.
Wait,
So
the
in
wick
that
on
case, the
wick
wicks
on
were
the
really
target?
short. Say again?
the wick on the target or the wick on the stop loss?
Both.
Either one, either or both. If they're too long, that's too much risk for me. Because I know with the long wick to the target, it's too far and it's probably not going to make it. Same thing with the stop loss. It makes the risk too big. And I don't want to artificially pull in my risk because that's, the system's designed with the amount of risk based on the price action.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
I don't mess. The only thing I'll do is get out early if after a bar or two it doesn't look right. Like
Right.
that's one of the rules, right? If there's two bars, if the next two bars are against you, your entry bar and the following bar,
That's
get
your
out
out.
on the third bar.
Right.
I mean,
So,
I've
yeah, so
sure
I took that
figured it out.
trade because the wicks, both wicks on the end of that bar are relatively short.
Okay, so we took that trade, Sal? I don't remember.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so did you win, Keith?
Yes, that was, but I stopped. I stopped out, but it happened to be in profit territory. I made $812.50. I didn't wait. So I
You
think
didn't wait. Okay.
1, 2 after the third. So the black bar and then the next two white bars. I entered a move on that second bar at the close. Go back a bar.
Oh, you
I'll
went and
remember
did it
the
on the
previous-
close.
Got
Yeah,
it.
that one. What's the closing
Okay.
price? 124.28. Let me look at my exit to see where I exited. 124.28. Yeah, I entered a move on that date
Okay.
and then kicked myself in the shins because it reached the
went up.
profit target the next day.
Yeah, but by rule, you would have been out at the open and taken a smaller win.
And that's what I did
But he doesn't do that.
at all. He never exits early.
Even on that fourth day when it's enter at the open, I've tracked it where he stays in and hits his target on that fourth day sometimes.
Yeah,
That's why
hindsight's amazing.
That's why my antennas keep going up.
Yeah, hindsight can be amazing. Hindsight is amazing.
So did
You
you,
get a loss every once in a while just to say, hey, look, it's not perfect.
Right.
But
right,
anyway, that was the first one.
did you take the consecutive trade, the 15th?
Nope. I can tell you why too. Hold on. Let me go back to that.
That's the day you got out.
Right. So the next day was the 16th.
Here,
And right, my next decision was the 16th. What day did I get out? Date out, 11/16. So that was also a setup bar on the 16th. I didn't take it because this is what I wrote. Strong breakout bull setup bar. Profit target below resistance. 2 bars against trade. Move for third bar. So I didn't take that trade. Is that it right there? Yeah.
oh, that's the 15th. I'm saying you exited that day. I was wondering if you took the 15th, which
Well,
would have been.
the exit was after hours when that bar updated. When I got that bar that night, my order was to exit at the open the next day on the 16th.
Okay.
So that's the bar I exited right there at the close of the previous bar.
Right.
And then
And
you
when I
didn't
saw
take the
that-
16th.
I didn't because when you go back to the beginning of October and before, you can see there's some resistance that's before the first profit target. Like go back, I'm trying to point, but you can't see where I'm pointing. Go back to the first day of October. That bull bar right there, yeah. It's a little higher.
Right here.
That's the
Yeah,
third.
Yeah, I saw that, and I don't know. And it was because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars from the swing low.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't count he gets close though. I've seen him do it both ways. He doesn't, I was always, in my trading, I'm taught you count that bar. You swing as a bar. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. That would raise my antennas too. I've noticed what he does. He's not deep into those swing moves. He takes his quick from the swings. That's
Like
why
within 1 or 2, he takes it.
yeah, like even if it's laying on it here, and here's your swing on the 8th, I'm just using it as an example.
He would take the 9th.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he would say, well, that does look like a spinning top, but, he doesn't pay attention to those much. But it does clearly say in one of the modules that the entire body of the spinning top is above the close here. I mean, he justifies a lot of stuff.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what you got to do your own shit and figure out which one of the indicators are actually hold true most of the time, and that's something you would keep on there.
It's easy to justify a decision in hindsight, and when you have hindsight, pre-sight,
There's
easy
no
to do.
emotion, yeah, there's nothing.
Right.
so,
But
okay,
if right now we filter through this with some hindsight, maybe we can come up with our own
right.
basic wins and test it with our forward testing so
Yeah,
that,
that's why I haven't gone through the detail that you have of looking at his in a hypothetical situation trades, because that doesn't matter to me. I need to be able to do this with the decisions that I make, right? Because at the end of the day, I have to live with my decisions regardless of what somebody else did.
yeah, but if we could see some patterns that he's doing and some rules that he does break and they do work, we can test it for the next 90 days and we can
Yeah.
see how that turns out. And then we can come up with our own. If he's not going to be clear,
Yeah,
which,
I mean, we can do that without his trades, without
Correct.
visibility to his. You can come up with those patterns from back testing and forward testing. Anyway,
Right,
my
that's
next trade was the 23rd.
well, Sal, did we take that on the 16th?
You know what, I can't, I don't know if these are all his trades. Again, I back tested these so many times, I erase them and start all over again, so.
Well, I have his trades.
You took this bar here at the 23rd.
Hang on a
Is that your setup bar, Keith, the 23rd?
Yeah, that was the next trade I took. I didn't take the 16th setup, and then my next decision was the 23rd, and I took that trade.
Okay, and I see, because what, it broke out of that little sideways run. Even though there was no cross, and we're about 13 candles into the move.
Yep.
So you
Because
took
it
that.
rested, in my mind, it rested long enough. It went sideways 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars, and then broke out above that last bar. And in my mind, that broke through resistance, and it still looked like it had good momentum. ADX was high. You know, the DMI blue was ramping up, and the EMAs were ramping up.
Was it a win?
So yeah, that was a win. That was a clear win.
Next day.
That went to. Excuse me, 1 second. I got to take this trade.
Yes, go ahead, Keith.
How do I mute myself?
Should be a mute button to the left.
You would think. Let me see. Hello, this is Keith.
We took that one too, Sal, it looks like.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling me back, doctor. Yeah.
I think we said the same
Kind of. I'm
thing.
on
We
a
were
call
looking
right
at
now,
how
but I'm
far it was
definitely
in
interested. Could you call me back
the
in,
trade.
say,
We were
an hour
back
or so,
testing.
or
We were
at
just
some
back
other-
testing.
and we were like, okay, so it went sideways. I think we had the same conclusion. Because
Well,
he had taken, if you go back to September, you see that big down
Okay,
run?
Dr. Andino
We had a bunch
Rivera
of wins in
said
that
she
down
also
run.
placed a referral to
So
you
did he.
for me to
Yeah.
attend the anger management.
So I think
class.
that's
I'm
why
very
we
interested
decided
in
to
that.
take
So
this,
thank you
even
very
though there
much
was
for
no
calling me
cross.
back.
Hold that thought.
Okay,
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you. I'll talk to you then. I apologize. I'm on a conference call. You probably hear it in the background. Okay, thank you. Bye. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Sal ran to the bathroom, so.
Oh, okay.
We took that same one on a back test, Keith.
The
We had,
23rd. Yep.
yeah, we had the same, if you look on Sal's chart all the way back to in September, there was a huge down run where there was no crossover. And he took a bunch and we took a bunch too. Had a bunch of wins in there.
Right. You can go back to, so you see from the swing high, the second bar from the left, right? And you start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars down is a black bar, and then a white bar, then a
What date are
doji,
you on? Which swing are you on?
way all the way to the left of the screen.
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you
Yep.
see it goes down, and then there's
Yep.
a white bar. Do you see that white bar?
Yes.
So
Or-
it kind of, from that black bar right before it, it's kind of resting, and then you could justify taking the trade at the last day of, what is that, August?
Yeah, looks like
You
it.
definitely take that, because it's busted through any support that it had.
Right.
Yeah, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to the crossover. I mean, because the way the settings are for the swing high, swing low indicator, it doesn't catch the nuances of moving sideways or consolidating for 3 or 4 bars, because it's set at 6, but it usually takes, from what I found, 8 to 10 bars before it actually moves and changes direction. That blue, swing high, swing low indicator. I've tried fiddling with the adjustments to make it a little more sensitive to catch some of these consolidating periods, but I couldn't figure it out, and I didn't want to spend any more time on it.
Right.
I do it by eye because in live on the day, you're not really sure if it's a swing until the day after. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's if it closed below the previous 2 candles, it's a swing. Even if it's only for a few bars.
Yeah, and again, that it depends on your time frame, right? So if you're looking at 10 periods at a time, maybe it's not a swing low. But if you're looking at 5 periods at a time, maybe it is a low or a high or whatever. So it really, there's a lot of discretion there on what's the swing high and swing low. So like from the left of the chart right now, 1 to the second bar, you would think is a swing high, right? You can't see what's left of that, but just based on what we see on the screen, that would be considered a high, right? And then you count from that second bar, 1. Yeah, see, that's a swing high. But anyway, when you travel down and you go to that next, the white bar that's towards the end of August, right before the other way.
The end of August is over here.
Yeah, the other white bar. Go left 3 bars, 4 bars, left, your other left, right there. So that bar, that looks kind of like it's going sideways right here, right? So when it breaks, and that's kind of what you're doing, Sal. When it breaks out of that, so that last bar in August, the last bar in August, 3 over. That bar, the other one, next one, the last one, right there.
Right there.
That bar right there breaks out of that consolidation and support. Support to give you the idea that it might trend lower after that.
That's why we took it. That's why we took it.
And you took that trade, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I look for. I have the blue swing high, swing low indicator on mine as well, but I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it just because there's intermediate consolidation periods that kind of reset a trend.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Because the biggest moves come out of flags are your biggest. Once they break out one way or the other, you get your biggest moves.
But that's what we noticed about his trades seem to be right after it consolidates and starts to move up or down is where he takes a trade and gets a win. That's what it seems like.
You just have to be careful with that because you might see a bar like that, but then it turns around the next day and bites you in the ass.
Yeah.
Where are we here? If we go.
That's what was happening to me with corn. That was the first one I back tested, and I didn't have all the nuances yet, and so it wasn't a positive experience with corn, and I haven't gone back to redo it, to re-back test.
No, that's what I mean. That's you could try. I was back testing like crazy, and I'm just like, oh shit, let me try it this way. Sometimes you're getting a different result every time. So where's that 831? So remember, this is what you're looking at when you're looking at that bar for 831.
Right.
That's a different look than when we looked at it before.
Correct. It looks like it broke through resistance or through support.
You're way out to the right.
Yeah. Last one on the right.
Yeah, well, this is how you would look at it, if without seeing the days ahead of it.
Go back to the first bar in July. Hover over that.
I'm going to give you what it looks like here. In July, the first bar?
Yeah. It's got a huge top wick.
Yes.
I would not take that trade. Maybe I took it. Is this corn? No, this is bond. I don't know if I took it or not, but right now I would not take that trade because it pushed the profit target 1 way too far out.
Well, yeah, that's where I had the resistance lines there.
And you got that resistance line. So, it's going to struggle to get past that orange line you've got drawn below profit target 1.
Well, it's got 2 of them. Yeah, I don't know. Did we end up taking that? No.
No, the buy target was too far away.
Well, no. Plus, it was right into resistance right here. 2 resistance lines. This resistance here, and then this pivot here.
Yeah, without that top wick, if right where your crosshair is right there, if the profit target had been right around there or right below where the
right,
yeah, like if it had been right there, I probably would have taken that trade.
Agree.
Mm-hmm.
I remember us talking about this one.
The key, it's not. I've already back tested what he does. It's not rocket science. I mean, it's about 5 or 6 points in either direction on the targets, whether it's a sell target or a buy target. It's not like some extreme mathematical formula he does. Because I was curious about it too. The stop losses are easy. It's at the bottom of the wick.
Yeah, it's,
Uh,
it's average. It's average true range (ATR).
Yeah, about 1.5% of the candle.
Yeah, based on, and I can't remember how many periods he uses to calculate ATR. I think it's 6 or something. It's not many. So when you've
No.
got a big bar, especially with long wicks, it really pushes it way out there because it's not. He doesn't take a whole lot of periods into that calculation.
No, but he's taken, what's this here? You know, he's taken a percentage from the top of this candle to that first target and then to the second one. He's using the wicks when he's calculating that
Right,
stuff.
but that percentage is based on the average true range calculation.
Exactly.
On a set period of bars, and I think it's 6. If I remember, it's not many. So a big bar is going to really affect how far away that profit
I'll
target
tell you,
is. And the
I'll
stop
tell you
loss.
what's frustrating was when you're back testing and we missed a bunch of trades by a tick. Like it'd be like 142 and 6 ticks, and it would go to 142 and 4 ticks, and
Yep.
then reverse. I told Chris, I'm like, screw that, man. If I'm watching this shit, I can see the stuff live. So I mean, I'm being
Sell
damn.
it.
Yeah. Now there was somebody in the group that said that they had subscribed to real-time data, and that it really jacked them up, because they're doing what you did. They get an EOD bar, and then they go look at the live data, and they see it's doing something, and they get out of a trade too early or something.
Well, that's what's kind of confusing about it, because I finally went and looked and we figured out, I'm like, Chris, the bond market's only closed an hour a day.
Yep.
It's 4 to 5 or 5 to 6. I forget one of those. And then the other two markets, the corn ones are different. They're closed at like 4
They're
to 7.
similar. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're only closed for a brief period. They trade around the clock.
Right.
But if you don't want to be sitting in front of your computer all day figuring out when.
No, I'm going back to his conspiracy theory, thinking that, he's looking ahead.
Right.
Or looking back,
Looking back, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
like Bob Seger said, looking back.
Right.
All right, so what was your next?
Yeah, what was your next trade, Keith?
We looked at 1123 already? I don't think.
Let's go look
Yeah,
at it
that
again.
was, and that was a strong one. It reached profit target 2. I logged the profit for the first profit target.
Okay, so that's the 23rd. You took that candle. Took it.
Entered on that bar you're at now, and it reached
Right.
profit.
You entered on entered here. It was and you got out in the same day, right?
I think so. That wick just barely reached it. What's the high on that bar? Where's your high? I can't see your high. Scroll up on your chart data window, or make it bigger.
Yeah, it's only showing
Longer.
the low.
Yeah, you got to scroll. There you go.
Yeah.
The high. Go back to that bar now. Hover over. Yeah. The high is 128.19.
128.19.
Go back to the setup bar. 128.19. Q2
Exactly.
by target 1.
By target
Yeah,
1.
exactly.
They hit it perfect.
Yeah, hit it.
Just barely.
Yeah, we took that one too.
What did the next bar do? Did it go higher to reaffirm that we made the right decision, or did it go down?
Well, you said it hit target too, so I'm guessing no, it went back down.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
so
what's the next day?
we got lucky. In my book, we got lucky on that one.
Yeah,
see,
Depending on how quickly it hit that target, if it was a split second, depending on how fast our order server is, we might.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
exactly.
That's true.
So what was the next one you took?
12-1.
Looks like we took it too.
Took 11:30 as the candle.
You could have taken, what's that bar right there? 11:30. Yeah. Technically, you could take that because 2 bars back is a white, almost a doji. It's not a doji, but
Right.
it's a white indecision candle. But it meets the requirement of 2 whites in the last 3.
Right. I remember us
So you could have
talking
taken
about
that trade and it would have worked, but I didn't because of that indecision candle.
Yeah, I
I
mean
mean-
that's discretion, because you could say, well, shit, that's just sideways action. I don't trust that.
I think we took it just because we were back testing and we were kind of taking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the real world, I don't know. I don't think we would have taken that.
And that's how I approached it,
Yeah.
And my motto is, when in doubt, stay out.
Yeah.
So, okay. I took that next trade though.
You took the 12-1 as your candle, right?
Right. And on 12-2 was the entry. So I got in, and you can see based on that bar that the first thing is, go back one. That one. That's the entry bar based on the setup from 12-1. I entered, and you can see as soon as I got in, it shot down to the close to the open of the setup bar.
Yep.
Unbeknownst to me, right? Because I didn't look at it again until that night. But it was back up. But that long bottom wick spooked me. That's what I was telling you.
Yeah.
I entered a move that day because I didn't want to get stopped out. Because I
You
saw
got
that
out
long
here?
wick. I said, there's some resistance there going on that I don't see. I don't like it.
So you
I'm
put a
glad
move
that
in
it-
that day on the 5th,
Yeah.
and you
Because
got
it
out
went
on
all
the
the way
6th.
down to the open of the previous, my setup bar. That long
Right.
bottom wick. It
Yeah.
was red. That bar was red for a long time that day.
Let's see the
Not
next
that
day.
one, the other one.
So you were out on the 5th?
I got out at the open of that black bar you're hovering over.
Oh,
I got
okay.
out, let me see, I got out at 129.28. What's the open? 129.28. Yep, that's where I got out.
Okay.
So Chris, you and I took this as a setup bar.
Right. What happened the next day? Yeah, we stayed in.
On, and it hit the
Boom.
next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I get skittish real easy.
What
That
was
bar-
what was the risk of taking that originally on our setup bar?
12-1, the risk was, so I
Yeah.
got out early, I made $125, so I counted it as a win, obviously. But the risk was $2,000, 62 cents and 50 cents, or 10.3% of a $23,000 account. So,
All right, but the next day, the 6th, Sal, we took that one, right, as a setup bar.
Yeah, we took a consecutive one.
yeah, I took that one too.
What
We
was the
were-
risk?
That had some strong follow through and hit profit target 1 or profit target 2.
Right.
Yeah, this one right here.
Yeah, on the same day we entered, we got out.
Yeah.
So it was a 0-day trade, right? And
Right.
you got in on the whatever the 7th, and
Yeah,
you
same
exited
day.
on the 7th with a profit.
Right.
Good momentum.
Okay. All right, what was your next one? Because that's about 5 trades, isn't it, already?
That's 4.
4.
11-10, 11-23, 12-1, and 12-6. The next one I took was on December 30. I haven't taken a trade this year. 12-30.
Okay, we did, Chris. I started forward testing us on the 20th, I think.
Okay. Right here?
Can't.
Yeah, and I didn't take that.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
take that. The bar before the one right before that. That looks like it could be a setup. Hover over the next bar.
This one?
The blue. Where are your moving averages?
The
There they are.
19th?
Yeah, they're on top of each other. So we
Yeah,
didn't
the blue
take
was
that.
higher than the red moving average on that bar right there.
Yeah, they're basically on top of each other. In hindsight,
Those are the ones that he's been
The
taking.
red probably took that trade.
that's where
I
he
was
gets.
following my rules on that trade and I didn't take it.
Yeah, that's why we waited to here. The 20th.
And that's 12-20. Yeah, I didn't take that trade. Let me tell you why. Oops. Hang on one second. Let me tell you why I didn't take it. 12-20. Support right at profit target 1 at 126.23. It's overextended. 12-21 indecision doji with higher low. 12-22 same as 12-21. Did not take the trade.
But you were forward testing.
Yeah.
So with that bar right there, what was your reason for not taking that as a setup bar?
12-20. Support right at profit target 1 at 126.23, and it was overextended, meaning the move had already gone down too far for me to be comfortable with. And then I followed it the following day. Let me see, 12-20. On 12-21, I saw an indecision doji with higher low, which confirmed my decision to not take it. And then on 12-23, it was the same thing. So that confirmed to me it was a good trade, those 2 subsequent bars.
It was a good trade to take or a good trade not to take? Because we
Did
took
not
it.
take. I did not take that trade.
Okay. All right. We took it, and when
So-
were we out? The third day, Sal? The next day?
Sideways 2 days.
Nope.
Yeah, that bar, so like I said, on 1220,
Right
there was
there.
support right at profit target 1 for that bar. Yeah, so you 1, 2, 3 on the fourth day you would have reached the profit target. That's
So
on the
what we
third day
did,
I would have exited if I had taken that trade.
by rule, would have done it at the open. But this is when we started forward testing. I kind of figure out, I'm like, wait a minute, he doesn't do it at the open.
Right.
That's why the profit is where it is on this one.
It would have been less.
Well, I would have left I would have left it running for that day to see
Yeah.
what direction it's going into, see if it
One of the
hit.
things you can do is pull in a trailing stop, so that if
Yeah,
it did
the
go
other way.
against you,
You could put the
it would-
75% trailing stop in, yeah.
Right.
yeah, it
And you
would
wouldn't
reduce your loss.
Yeah, and you would have hit your target if you used that rule for the exit.
Okay. What was we took the next day too, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I guess you have the,
We took the 27th as a setup
Yeah.
bar.
4 bars from crossover, setup bar too big, too much risk, profit target 1, 124.18. I did not take that trade. I was not comfortable with it.
And what was your main reason?
1227, 4 bars from crossover,
But why is that bad?
setup bar too big, too much risk.
What was the risk there, Sal? Do you remember?
no, we can do it. You have it written down there, the risk?
Well, the risk of not reaching profit target 1 was too great because it's so far away. And then because it's such a big bar, I mean, your stop loss was so far away and your profit target was so far away, it was too big for me. I didn't feel comfortable.
Gotcha. Okay.
But that bar is what day? 1227.
Yes.
I didn't take a trade until the 30th. 28, 29, 30. I took that trade right there.
You took that one, we didn't, because that was 2 in a row for us, right?
Right. Yeah, we hit 2. We took the 27th and the 28th, and then by the 30th, we were already in for 2 wins on the short, and so didn't go for the third.
Yeah, and this one bit me in the ass because I thought, man, that looks like a good setup bar.
But when I see it starting to consolidate sideways, and I see the moving averages starting to widen out. So I don't know if we would have taken that one.
Yeah, 'cause, right. If you look at the DMI red, it's definitely not sloping up.
No, but the blue's kind of still floating away, so that does meet the criteria according to him. It's not like 100%. They're going the opposite directions. That's greatest.
Yeah, and it was lower than the previous 2 bars, which broke out from the big bull bar. And I thought,
Right.
okay, it's breaking through that, so I took
You're
it.
thinking now it's safe.
It bit me in the ass. I think on the next day
Let's see.
or the day after. No, it was
right
that.
there.
That day. Yep.
Stopped out that day, yeah.
What was your loss on that?
My loss was 1,000. The risk was $1,000
Okay.
because it's a small bar.
Now, Fred took January 4th is when we started following him.
Yeah, I haven't taken another trade, but I logged my decision.
So he took
January
this.
4th, I did not take, but I missed the profit on that.
Did we take it, Sal?
No, because we were being conservative because there's really no cross.
Right.
Yeah,
It's on
moving
top of
average
each other.
blue, I didn't take it because moving average blue was less, and this is the one I posted about, Chris, if you recall.
I do. I do.
Because I knew that he took it because I saw his hypothetical situation trade, and I didn't take it because the MA blue was less than MA red by 1 tick, plus resistance before PT1. That was my reason for staying out of 1.5.
Yeah, I would have stayed. I stayed out because of the same thing. I mean, it's just turned, hasn't crossed, and it's still come up against all this shit right here.
Right. And it hasn't crossed there.
No, and the
Broken
target
That's 1.5. No, that's 1.4. It's
for
the next bar, right? 1.5. No, 1.4. You're right.
2 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
then I think it almost reached the it was 1 tick away, if I remember correctly, from
it
stopping
stopped
out.
Yeah, that's
One
what
tick.
amazing.
So when I saw that bar, I'm like, I made the right decision. Look at that. I would have
Right.
gone
Looks like
and
it stopped.
missed
Looks
that.
like it stopped. Yeah, I know. I saw the same thing.
And that would
Somehow.
have spooked me if I was in
survived.
it, and I would have entered a move order to get out at the open the next day.
Right.
And the next day is when it popped.
Yep. Okay.
So, yeah, it's his trades in purple. We did not take that one.
So I marked that decision as a missed opportunity. That's one
Yeah,
of my
So-
1, 2, 3, 4 misses.
But would you
in my
take it
decision.
if you had to, if you looked at it again? Would you take
You
it?
wouldn't take it again, though.
I wouldn't.
If it showed up again,
You know, that's one of the ones, because when you look at it, the blue line is definitely sloping up. The blue moving average, it hasn't quite crossed over yet.
that
It's
doesn't
sloping
bother
up.
me because he's taken a few of those. But not breaking
Looking for-
resistance
looking
is
for a
probably, yeah.
So if I came across that pattern again, maybe I would take it. You know, because that's one of the things I haven't really paid that close attention to is the slope of the moving averages and the slope of the DMIs. But it's something that when I see setup bars now, I'm going to be paying closer attention to the slope.
Yeah, so that's where you can go back and look. So if you follow my cursor, you can follow this move down. He got 3 bars up. You can get a quick snag. He got a quick snag on it. I'm guessing based on previous stuff.
Yeah,
Again,
he's jumping in on those.
Trying to
When
guess
the-
in his head.
Yeah. When they're almost crossing, he's jumping in. And he's grabbing those quick.
Yeah, and the blue MA is definitely sloping up, meaning that it's on an uptrend
Right.
from that swing low.
Right.
Yeah, it's only been 2 days though. That's what's
But there's
I
two
would-
strong, very strong days, and that kind of spooks me too, because 2 strong days makes me think it's overextended and it's pretty much run its course and could go back down, and it almost did. So I don't know.
The only thing I could see that he did is, you see where my cursor is now? Is it these 3 bars and this close here? 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's some
In his
resistance
head,
or
that
support
he's
right
calling-
there.
Yeah, he's calling that was strong resistance. This bar broke up
Support.
resistance, and then this bar was just about to cross over. So he's
Oh,
coming-
I see. I see.
That's one of the questions, again, as we were formulating for him, was how far, and I asked that before, Chris, is how far does he look back for resistance line?
Can you shade that one like we did before in pink? So we can find that one?
Yeah.
Cool. I think you're right, because in the video, he did that a few times. He only went back like 3 or 4 bars to find resistance and support.
I know, but it just the way he did it in his videos is just like he was playing with lines that were already there.
Right.
I don't know. All right, so you didn't take another one, Keith?
I have not taken another trade. I have not had a trade for 4 testing trades this year.
All right, well, we took this one, right, Chris, the 9th?
Which one?
So
Yeah.
we took this bar here, the one I was waiting. I took that as the setup bar, the 6.
Right. We got in on the 7th.
Yeah,
It went down on the 10th.
down 10.
Started
One
going
day I
sideways.
did not take that trade because of resistance before profit target 1. And then on 1-9, it missed profit target 1 by 8 ticks.
Yeah.
Which
took-
bar? What are you on? 112? Is that?
112 is when it hit.
Yeah, we use this, I use this setup bar here. So we
Got
were
in on the 9th.
went down sideways and
But it was only 2 days in, so we didn't put an order in. On the 3rd day,
yeah, we did, we went with, we were gonna watch it and we're 75%, stop loss, but we just again, we're forward testing, so
right.
we were mirroring what he was doing, was staying in on that candle.
Right.
But when
Now-
you're forward testing, you don't know what he's doing.
Not,
You
no,
don't know.
not
based
until
on,
after.
just on his
Weeks
trades
later.
for this year. No, he's done it this year, so I look at his trades, and I'm trying to see what he's consistently doing. And I picked that up from back testing his stuff, with his 3-day, all his golden rules that he breaks. I'm trying to see the ones he's breaking. All right, so he went up. Yeah, we can see the resistance lines up there. And then it brings us into today.
Now, he took the 14th.
He did?
Yeah, he took the 14th,
No.
unless it's a typo.
14th, is there a 14 bar? Because I go from 13 to 16. 14 and
Yeah.
15 should have been Saturday and Sunday.
On the chart, I have 14th and the 17th.
Go forward one.
I have,
16, yeah. 14 and 15 are the weekend.
So unless, is this
you must be
this
looking
last year?
You're looking
Oh,
at
this,
22.
oh,
Yeah,
that
he
might be
didn't, he
it.
didn't take any of this. He's
All
only
right.
taken 4 trades this year.
All right, I got the wrong one. Sorry about that.
Right.
Boom,
Wrong.
look at that bar. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, that's, but there's no 2 white bars, so you're gonna miss
Right.
that one. Unless you take this one as a setup bar.
That's too big. I would never take that trade on the 18th.
Well, no, and then you're up here, you're pushing right against resistance, and then you're in his confirmed no man's land.
For the buy target, it's no man's
But
land.
you broke through support, resistance with that big bull bar. But I didn't
Yeah.
take it because the stop loss is too far away.
What's the risk on that one?
This one
I
here,
don't when I don't take a trade, I don't calculate the risk. There you go.
2,800?
Around 2,800.
Yeah,
You could zero in on it, but 2,800, give or take. That's
right,
a lot. That's huge.
right.
Yeah, what was the risk on my trades? 4,200, 1,500, 2,000, 1,400, and 1,000. So the average risk was $2,000, and my average risk on a $20,000 account was 10%, 10.2, which would have been 5.1% on a $10,000 account. No, excuse me, 20% on a $10,000 account, 40% on a $5,000 account.
Right.
Let's see. My profits, winning trades 3,000, losing trade 1,000. So I was up $2,062.50. So that's what I'm up right now, actually. Which is my ROI, total trades 10% for the year, or since November,
Okay.
because I haven't taken a trade this year. But of those 5 trades, it's 10%.
yeah, bonds, nothing on bonds. Now, the other one he took, I think we already talked about, was his corn trade. Remember I said he took it, this one right here.
That's a setup bar, right? Yeah.
Where they're laying on top of each other. We're just curious. Remember I kind of mentioned that one to you, Chris?
Yep.
I'm curious. I bet you, I'm curious if he's gonna take this one. Then I was really curious to see if he's taken this one as a setup bar.
Right.
Are
What do
there
you
any
hit?
setup bars that you took or would have taken that he hasn't taken?
There was there was a bunch of them. I have to go back.
Of
Well,
winning trades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we came up when I first did the back.
Mostly in bonds. I think we were close on corn. But bonds we had,
Took a lot more trades than we did on corn.
yeah.
He what? Say that again?
Well,
He took a
no,
lot more trades than we did because there was, again, if you back tested his stuff, there was like,
I don't think he did. So I think he
He
was like
did. He
1 or
took, like,
2.
no, that was corn was the one where he was taking where the indicators were so far off.
Look.
If you go to that versus Rouse on corn, he was up near 20 some trades, but that's where like the ADX was like 15 and 30.
Oh, yeah, you're right. 26 trades last
Yeah.
year. Last year. Yeah.
See everything that's in red on that?
That's right. We only took 15, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
But our percentage was good. Now,
Right.
like I said, this year we're batting, I mean, we're well over 90%. I think
Has
that
he taken a trade where ADX was less than 22?
Yes, he took about half a dozen of them, I think.
We took one where it was 2196, I think.
Yeah,
This is our only loss for our 3 charts on the year, which is this red line right here.
that's corn, right?
Yeah, we use this as a setup bar. As a consecutive trade as a setup bar.
Yeah, that big bull bar right before the 4-bar pullback.
Yes.
Yeah, see that's too big for me. That bar is way too big and way too extended from the swing low.
Yeah,
For
we
me.
did say that. Sal and I, we contemplated that. We were like that.
No, that's what I said. We're forward testing. I said I'm just gonna
Yeah.
see what
Yeah.
happens.
In real life, we probably would not have taken that.
There's your swing. 1, 2, 3. It's only 4 bars in from the swing.
The one to take is the bar before that.
Right.
Well, that's what we talked about. You know, like how many times is he taking when I called simultaneous trades, which are
Back to back.
meaning, well, no, you're in one and you're in the next one. Like this bar right here. This is a huge bar, and we took this. This was our win, Chris.
Right.
What I was saying was before this trade was over, this is technically a setup bar too. Even
Which
though
he did a couple times.
Do we have 2 open trades on the same product?
yeah,
Yes.
I picked him. He did a bunch of those too. I picked up. He was doing that. Again, my analysis of him is after that swing point, at that cross, he's in early and then he's out. Like if you're getting near that 7, 10, 12 bar thing, he's not taking them.
Right.
But can
But
you pick up on that in real time, forward testing, to know what you're talking about right now? You're saying that in hindsight because you can
Right.
see what happens.
That's a good question. And I think that's what we're testing now.
yeah,
We're
we're
looking,
testing forward on that. Yeah, if it looks like it's going across, if it's on top of each other but heading in the right direction,
and everything else lines up pretty well, then we're taking.
and we're near that, and we're a couple bars in after that swing, and the cross is coming fast. Where I saw the losses came from is when the cross would come 4 or 5 bars after the swing.
Right.
But I noticed if it swings and that cross is about to happen within a couple bars, 2 or 3,
He's
he's
in.
in.
Yeah.
And if you could take simultaneous trades, like I'm using this as an example, and this is what I'm testing going forward, like you would take this bar and this bar,
Right.
you would have won both of them on this bar. And then you could have sat out. They're your two trades in that move, and then you're out.
Right.
Wait for the next opportunity. Also, his sideways action, he considers that's the same as a cross in my book. So if we consolidate, we're making a bull flag or a bear flag, we're going sideways and consolidating for a decent period and it breaks out, even if there's not a cross, it becomes tradable again.
Right.
Which you took
Yeah.
one, Keith, I noticed that was
Well,
a
he
win.
did that. We made a shit ton of money on bonds. If you
Yeah.
didn't put on bonds in that huge run
Yeah, you missed out.
back whenever that was, 21, but yeah, it's like I think it was there. And it's kept going down.
Right there.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Right there.
this huge run right there where the never
We grabbed a few.
Swing high from March all the way down to middle
April.
of May. Really.
Yeah, you're right. Middle of May.
Yeah,
I mean, it had some undulations, but
so I
overall,
say that's what I said to Chris. It's just you can't back test him or even you got to forward test to back test.
Right.
And what are your thoughts, Sal, on the fact that he doesn't encourage monitoring the news, things that might affect the bond market?
I agree with him. I'm a technician. I'm so focused on charts, and I've been batting 85, 90%. I'm knocking on wood because I'm due for some losses.
Yeah, and you don't want to predict
Technical stuff.
either.
Yeah, there's times you can stay out. Like tomorrow, the Fed's going to have an announcement. But you make
So
money
you're
on
strictly technical analysis. You're not looking at fundamentals. You don't want to think about
85% unless something crazy's going on.
Like a war or something.
Yeah, something crazy which you can't focus on too much, but it's strictly fundamental or it's strictly technical analysis, and I'm just looking for small bites 10, 15, 18%, you know, in this market, stocks, so I'm talking stocks, you know, um, and hits a technical indicator, I'm out. I've left shit ton profit on tables in stocks over the last 6 months.
Mhm.
Um, and that's the psychology I've learned never to look back. Like they're out once they're off
I
my
know day
chart.
traders, a lot of day traders are, man, they're listening and hanging on to every word from the Fed.
Well, they do it because they move. Yeah, that creates great volatility for the day. I mean, day trading,
Yeah.
yeah, it's from 9:30 in the morning to 11:30 in the morning. You know, that's day trading. It's, and then once that gets to lunchtime, you're out. The day's over. Um,
For the last hour.
yeah, it's just everything's done. You know, I'm playing gaps now because it's earnings season. You know, because everything's getting driven by earnings. You know, so things are doing stuff they shouldn't do. You know, and trying to capitalize. You know, making 400 or 500 bucks here, 400 or 500 bucks there. You
And
know,
you're
in and out.
swinging those gaps?
Yeah, on a day trade basis. Yeah,
So you're day trading them.
yeah.
Intraday.
But earnings gaps, yeah, they're just days in and out in the same day. You're looking for a dollar move. It has to hit a point. I use, you know, Fibonacci's and stuff like that. You know, to create the points, and if it pierces it or hits it, I'm in. But I mean, it's a dollar move, so you gotta expend extra money, but the risk is lower. I mean, everybody hears day trading, they think it's like, oh my God, it's just gambling. But
Yeah.
I use
Coming
the
from day
same,
trading, you know,
yeah,
one
the
one
same
of the
technical
concerns I have
analysis.
with one of the concerns I have with this system, coming from a day trading background, is the risk to reward ratio is upside down. You know, the risk on a trade is bigger than the profit on a trade, on every trade.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's short term. You're right, and you know, commodities code differently. You know, it took me a while to comprehend those. When you put that dollar difference line on there, those small candles are like, hey, that's 3 grand. You know, and spread it out over 3 days. I'm just like, I wasn't getting, you know, how much you risked.
But you're comfortable with that now not being the norm,
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
that it's not the norm.
I'm going to get into it slow. And I'm going to put, I was telling Chris, just the swing trading technicals I use, I'm going to put towards the commodities too, because it works for everything. I'm still not sold on this. I told Chris, I'm just like, you know what? Even though I tried to do the screen, you know, to the day, so you're not looking forward, it's it's not the it's not the same emotion.
It is not the same. You're right.
Even
No.
forward testing is, but one thing I'm convinced of, and Chris and I spoke about, is that the forward testing is going to be so much more important than the backwards testing. And if we have to be absolutely ultra conservative and we're doing 15% less trades he's doing, I'm like, I'm okay with that because we'll just up the contracts once we're
Right.
comfortable
Right.
taking trades. It's all about the money and just in, out, repeat it. The only thing we've gotten good, I think we're really comfortable with is we've identified our 3 charts um, that we're focused on. You know, I was looking at everything, you know, so I was just, you know, I'm like, Chris, we're going to trade 5 of these charts. So I do get what he's saying about that.
Yeah, just pick two. And he also said in one of Keith's responses was he's been trading corn and bonds since 2008. So I think he has stayed with these two the whole time.
The thing that sucks for us is it just doesn't jive with what he's teaching or those ridiculous PDFs he sent out.
Right.
He needs to be updated, or he needs to like come on once a month for his students, and you know.
Yeah. Well, like Keith said, if he would just show a trade and say, hey, I took this, let's see what happens.
Yeah, doesn't he have to tell us before he does it? You know, hey, I'm going to take this trade. No, tell us the next day that you took this trade. Show us that you're legitimate.
Right.
Yeah, it would go a long
You
way.
don't know the outcome because every trade he talks about, everyone already knows the outcome because it's from the past.
Right. Yeah.
That's what's hard, but it doesn't match up with everything he's telling us.
Right, exactly.
And then he posts his trades And some of them are not even close to what he's telling us.
But I also think that he probably hasn't been called out on that either, because when Keith and I got on the video with the group, there was, what was there, 12 people on the call a couple weeks ago, Keith, something like that, 12
Oh,
or 18
yeah, something like
people.
that. 10, at least
No
10.
one had back tested his trades at all, except
Right.
for us. So to me, that was a sure sign. Okay, let's see what he did. It just made
Yeah.
sense. But nobody else had thought of that, so I don't think anyone has ever asked him or
Yeah,
really
why,
put the
why would
questions
we,
out there.
why would we not trade bonds and corn and match up and try to mirror what he's doing if he's been doing it for the last 15, 16 years?
Right.
You'd be crazy not to use those two charts. I mean, oats just came up and just happened to be, we're
A
batting
good
100%
one.
on oats. And I
Yeah,
think
at least to back test and forward test and learn the system, you know, so you have some type of baseline to compare to.
Right.
And you know it's tried and tested supposedly in a hypothetical situation. So yeah, that was my reasoning, and that's why I went with those two initially. I didn't have success with corn, but
Yeah, and now it's reversed. In my mind, it's, for us, it's reversed. Now it's take the forward trades, see what worked, and then go back and try to match it up to something that happened in the past. As
Right.
opposed to doing all that stuff in the past and then looking forward. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So if we take a trade now, I'll look at it and then I'll go back within the year to see, is this how it worked before? You know, what was the bar? What were the, you know, were the moving averages? How wide were the lines apart? How far from the swing was it, you know, where he took it? But, you know, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, and he's done it with those two. So I'm absolutely going to follow his trades and try to see whatever his
What?
black belt shit
Yeah.
is.
Why did he take it?
right. So let's talk about the questions that you want to put to him, Chris.
Okay. First, I think we want to ask him about why he's taking it before it crosses.
Well,
And let's figure.
so here I'll play devil's advocate or Fred's advocate.
I've been doing it for 20 years.
You just need to back test and learn.
I think that's what he's going
What
to
the
say to
price-
everything.
Look at price. Don't focus on the indicators because they're from the past. Focus on price, and after you've back tested and learned, you'll know why.
Well, if we look at price, where does that make a difference? Can we find an example where price was something that we would have looked at and figured out why he took it?
Well,
Like
if you're
this
gonna
trade.
ask him that question, what kind of question can you put to him that he's not going to be elusive with the answer?
Right. Correct.
Or
So
point
I
you
think,
to the video and back testing.
right.
Well,
I think
I had more general questions. I want to know what his screen, I want to confirm that he's trading off of the screen that we're trading off of, meaning the time frame. Like, I get it's daily. Is that what we're trading off of, that 3.5 month look? If you remember the videos, he was very specific how he set it up. You know, get less bars, or, you know, get a few less bars, clean all this up, and this is your view.
Yeah,
it was
'cause
about
he
3.5 months.
definitely calls people out. What the hell is that on your chart? Get that off there.
Right, which
So
I
he
get.
wants it to look that way. He has
But it's-
never ever shared his chart. I don't recall ever seeing a chart that he says, "Here's my chart."
Yeah.
There's charts in the course, but in the Facebook group, he doesn't say, "Here's my chart. Take a look at this."
We all want to be looking at the same thing, the time frame. Now this is a 3.5 month view that I've got up somewhere around there based on what he did.
That's
Yeah, it
what
was
he
basic.
tells you to do. Yep.
Yeah. Correct.
Does he, when he's taking, like, you know, direction that we're in, whether it's up, down, sideways, is he doing it? How far back is he going? Is he going back? Because in his course it says go back to weekly. No, go back 6 to 9 months on the daily. Go back weekly. So for trend, the general question was where are you getting your trend from? Is it, again, the 3.5 month view, or are we going back a year, or, you know, 6 to 9 months to get the general trend that we're trading. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the course, he talks about going to higher level time periods, like going to a weekly, or
Yeah,
going
to
to
confirm it. Yeah, he was talking out of his ass. Oh, look, I went back to the weekly and the ADX looks good. So yeah, well, that's not part of the step of process that you you put in there. It just validated what you already know. So again, on the chart here, here's the daily. So to me, this is sideways action. You're rolling from here to here, and now you're going sideways. This is corn. You take it back to the weekly. We're in a downtrend on this screen on the weekly.
Right.
Now we're just starting to consolidate.
Yep, you're
And
consolidating.
the reason I want to know that is because one of the rules is the counter trend trade.
Yeah, because you're only supposed to take one, right?
Yeah, if you're going against the trend, you can only take one in a move. So
That may be a question: is what do how many bars does it take to be a trend? Are we only talking about between a swing high? From a swing high, that's a trend, right? We can go to a higher time frame and see a longer term trend. But what is he basing that on for counter trend?
That's my point. It's what time frame is he looking at? Is it this view, 3.5 months on the daily? Or is he going back to 9 months like he put in his PDF to determine?
I think he means, from swing high to swing low, that's the trend.
Yeah, but again, it looks different. So see this trend right here, obviously an uptrend
Right.
from November all the way up. So,
But the weekly shows a downtrend.
But it's got one long uptrend line. Go back. Yeah, so from the bottom bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars into November, where the swing low indicator is. If you go to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that 13th bar would tell me that's a swing high, because now it's pulling back.
yeah, it's consolidating. It made a run up and it's pulling back. It's consolidating. That's a bullish consolidation, and then it broke up again. It broke out of that consolidation to the upside.
But you could consider that a swing high. By definition,
it is a swing.
That bar is a swing high because the bar before it and the bar after it are lower.
Yeah. So is this right here. This is a swing low.
Where you at? Yeah, that would be considered a swing low.
Right.
You can set up that indicator. I tried to figure out how to do it, but you could set it up so that it shows those. You can change the settings on that.
Yeah, to do a short term. He's got these are mid to long term swings.
Right. So would that be a counter trend when you look at that bar, that little pullback right there, towards the end of November? 1, 2, 3 bars.
No, I wouldn't, because remember, this is where we at. This is where we're looking at it right here.
Yeah,
so
that's the whole question, right?
Here's the view on what was
on
the date?
Longer term, yeah, it's a downtrend, right? But
yeah, downtrend. Now it's consolidating. Now, to me, I wouldn't consider this reversed until it broke above like these pivots right here. It would have to break above this for me to look at it as a trend change right there. See these pivots right here? I can't get it to draw for some reason.
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so somewhere in this area right here.
So scroll to the right. Let's keep that line on there. Scroll to the right. Let's see what it does.
So there's your first candle. It broke. There you go, and it just confirmed.
So now it's a reversal.
So now it's you could say, hey, I'm in uptrend. So now can I take 2 trades in this move?
Because
Or
the trend
you really see when you rewind a little bit, it goes, that uptrend started 15 bars ago.
Yeah, the uptrend started down here. Yeah, that's exactly right.
But you didn't consider it an uptrend until it broke above that previous resistance.
That's my point. It's like where is he? What is he looking at to make it that he's determining trend? Because this is a clear downtrend.
Yeah, so that's a question I would put to him.
like time frame. That's what I'm saying. What are your time frames? Are you trading? We trade daily. But when you're looking at trend and stuff like that, what are we all looking at the same thing? Is it we're looking at 3.5, 4 months approximately. That's what's on our screen, and that's what we're trading. Because it's a very short-term system. That
Right.
would make sense to me.
See, and that's
And
what
then
makes me think he considers a trend between a swing high and a swing low, a short-term swing high and swing low, not this
That's
longer.
an answer. If that's what he says, I mean, I'll
Yeah.
take that as an answer.
So let's ask him that question, Chris.
Yeah.
What else? What else can we ask him that he can't squirm out of?
I think that's it.
I would put to him, can you start sharing your trades? Hey, I took this trade yesterday, to instill confidence in us that he's legit. I don't know if that's, I don't know if you'd feel comfortable asking him that.
Chris is afraid you're going to get voted off the island.
Yeah, but I'm pretty good at asking in a nice way without trying to accuse him of anything.
There you are. pretty
Yeah,
nice guy.
I appreciate you sharing your trades with us, but it'll be more beneficial.
Yeah.
We could do this.
I have a feeling I'm going to get circle talked.
Oh yeah.
He seems to be
And
very good at that.
And a monthly live call with the alum group.
Right.
Or at least post a video to the alum group monthly to talk about trades.
I think we also need to keep forward testing,
Oh yeah, forward testing is everything right now.
figure out what's working, what's not, figure out if he doesn't answer questions, and get the group asking more questions too. Because the more people that ask, the more pressure it puts on him.
Yeah, that's what I was
That's
saying.
what I've been trying to do since I joined, is
Yeah.
getting people to talk, because that's our best way of getting value out of this, is
Correct.
for us to share information, right? And
Yeah, you've been doing a great job of it, Keith. You have.
Yeah, you're the only name I ever hear from, Chris. I'm just like, isn't anybody else asking questions? I mean, somebody else must have back tested him and said, whoa, wait a second.
No, but no one that I know of. It's not that anyone didn't. I didn't talk to everybody, but
Yeah.
Like
The
they're
guy
afraid-
that posted today, I can't remember his name, Mike, I think, he posted a question for the group today. I think,
Right.
Did you respond? I can't remember. Anyway, he was private messaging me and asked me if I wanted to post. I said, no, I think you should.
yeah.
People are getting
Yeah.
tired of seeing my name.
Yeah, we need more and more people asking and more people
Oh,
wanting
I
to
got-
see more.
Hey, Keith, I have a question for you, again, because I haven't done an actual, even simulated trade with this stuff. I
Thank
know
you.
we're on 057, like ZB 057,
Yes.
but if you do a simulated trade, are we trading the next closest contract? Like, will we be trading March?
I think 057 presents the most liquid contract. Like go into charting and pull up, go to chart or hit Control N. Just hit Control N. There you go. So at the bottom, 057, most liquid
Oh,
contract.
no, that I get, but look, if you were to make, like, here's your simulated trade. So say you wanted to make a trade, this is simulated on their thing. Okay, where the hell is that?
Yeah, I haven't done this at all.
So you want to go and you want to buy, okay, off of this chart. See the sign?
Yeah, you have to choose an expiration date.
Right, so when you look at 057, I mean, are we trading the closest one, meaning like March?
That's a good question. He hasn't shared that information.
Because there's no ZB 057 to trade.
Right, because that's just a chart of the most liquid contract. So it
Right.
should show you, and I'm looking at your chart right now, it should tell you what contract is presented.
Yeah, it's ZB 20,
202212.
March. Yeah, March 03. So it's 2023-03, which would be March.
So your chart, look at your chart in the top left corner in the white. In the top left corner of your chart, it says Thursday, 9/1/2022, ZB. Oh, because that's the contract for the date you're hovering over, I think. Where are you hovering? You're in September. So if you go all the way to the current bar, that top left is going to tell you what contract bar you're looking at.
All right, so if we're here, right? So we go up, do your trade.
So you see
It's
it
still-
right there?
The cursor moved though.
2023-003. Go, yeah, hover over that last bar, the current bar.
Yeah, it's not
You gotta
doing
hit
it.
escape. Hit escape because you got something activated.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah, the trade box goes away.
Yep. 2023-003. That's the contract that it's presenting in the chart.
So that's the one. That's the one you would trade is whatever pops. It's
I
the
think
March.
so. That would be my best guess.
Yeah, it's the March one. All right. That's what I figured. I just one of those little things. I was just curious to see.
And it's continuous, from what I understand, it continuously updates to the most liquid contract without adjusting prior prices.
Oh, good.
That was what 067 did. It adjusted past prices based on the current most liquid or the most pull up control in again. Let's see what 067 says. There you go. Oh, it doesn't show 067. Type 067 in the find box.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Now, it's still most liquid, but it makes adjustments, I think. I don't see where it says that. But there's
Yeah.
something about how it adjusts past prices. So it's a little different. You'll see differences if you put it, one
Yeah,
on top
I
of the
noticed
other.
that because I back tested for 2 months on 067. I'm like, because that was what was in the PDFs.
Right. He has since, yeah, and that's what makes me, it was shit like that makes me think he is not an expert in trading. He's an expert in selling his course.
I
Well,
wouldn't
that's
say an expert, but
Yeah. Well, he's getting help from an expert, right? He asked for help on Facebook.
yeah, but he already screwed that up by trying to do a live Facebook that wasn't live. So
That technically wasn't even live, and he couldn't even get that right.
right.
Unbelievable. He's old. You said that.
Yeah.
again, I don't know if he's sinister or he's just, look, I just did this for you guys to throw it out there. You can make money with it. It's $5,000. You'll make that 100 times over. You know, he's a good person, but he's just inept at marketing and
He's
actually,
a terrible teacher.
or he's gotten so many more
He's not
students.
a teacher.
No, he's not a teacher. No, he's definitely not a teacher.
No, because just his course alone is awful. If it weren't for Sal, I'd have been lost in there, man. He helped
Yeah.
fine tune it. And
Right.
Keith, you were helpful too.
Yeah, it was just half of it was bullshit. I'm just like, we got to get to the course. This is all just bullshit.
Yeah.
Turtle this, turtle that. I'm like, this.
Fibonacci's and
Where's
all
the
kinds
where's
of
the program? And he goes, I think he makes us wait till the end. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
That way you're locked in because he gives you 30 days for the refund.
Not even
Doesn't
anymore.
reveal
It's 15
anything in the
days.
he doesn't reveal shit in the first 30 days, so
No.
you're locked in.
But you had
that.
a year. I thought we had a year.
You do.
So there's the 30
A
days,
year and a half.
and then there's the 2 years if you haven't made any money.
Right.
They technically
He'll
have
fight you on that. Mark my word.
But he could run into a lot of problems. I'm telling you, people start canceling his course and notifying the FTC, they'll shut his ass down. I've seen it happen to guys who try and sell courses that aren't legit.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
They don't play with that. They will
Even
shut
like
it down.
what's the guy's name? Ross Cameron, Warrior Trader. I'm sure you guys have heard of him.
Yeah.
I never followed any trading stuff, so.
He got
Heard.
fined by the FTC and had to pay, I think it was a $3 million fine because he made promises for potential customers that they're gonna, if they join his course, they're gonna be profitable.
Right,
And that wasn't. He was making false claims, and they fined
Right.
him.
right. So in the next year, we can make his life miserable if we need to.
Yep.
It-
I've got
beyond
that.
Yeah,
No,
me
they're-
too.
Gotta see.
I
We
try to
won't
be
know.
supportive, and I constantly advocate what he says.
Right. Yeah, so let's see if we can find the holes, fill them.
Yeah, I mean, I like, again, the things I like is that slow down, take less trades. You can go up to 5 contracts to make the money. He said that, again, in some other post, or I read something, and even on his Fred Rouse trades, he's like, it doesn't look like a lot of money, but when you learn the system, then you trade 2
Scale up.
contracts. 3
Yeah, because
contracts.
he wants you to make like $100 a week in the beginning for 90 days, and then make $200, and then make $300. So it's a process. I see it. I would be really skeptical if our win rate was like 40% right now. But with the tweaking that we've all done, we're still at 80%, let's say, on average. So
Right. But you have
I'm
to
not-
look at your average, and that was part of what I posted. You have to look at your average win rate, take all your winning profit trades, find out what that average is, and do the same thing with your losing trades. And that'll determine what your win rate has to be to break even.
right,
And
right,
it's going to be more than 50% because your losing trades are higher than your winning trades.
right. There's a bigger risk for it. So
Right. And that's the thing. And that's what, with the stock trading background, you can have a 40% win rate if you've got a 2-to-1 win ratio where for every
you're winning
$2
way
you
more.
win, yeah, if you lose more, if you win more than you lose, even with a 40% win rate, as long as your ratio of wins to loss dollar amount is high enough, 40% can be profitable.
Yeah,
Oh, I mean, you got to manage risk on the downside. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So let's do that while we're forward testing. And, the next couple months, let's fine tune it, see where we are. We'll try and get some answers out of him.
If you guys want to see that spreadsheet, I can email it to you, Chris.
Yeah, if you don't mind, that'd be great.
Take a peek at it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And if you get bored and there's nothing going on with your trades, I would check out oats. Again, we're
Yeah.
thinking like 6 for 6 or.
Did you get back on corn again, Keith, or no?
I have not.
Okay.
I've been busy outside of this stuff, but I'm focused on forward testing bonds. My plan is I'll get into bonds live trading at some point. Once I have a long enough, I've got 90 days, but I've only got 5 trades, so I want some more trades.
I would jump on corn because corn has less risk as well. So it doesn't hurt. And he's been trading corn and bonds.
Yeah. The problem with that, from what I've seen, like I said, I wasn't as successful with corn as I was with bonds, but it doesn't have the follow through. It doesn't have the momentum in a trend, and I got bit in the ass too many times, and I wasn't comfortable with it. So once I'm done with bonds, then I'll relook at corn. I'll take a look at the new products. That's my plan. I want to start trading with just one.
Okay.
Make sure I'm good enough with that, and then I'll start looking for another one, and at some point add a third and a fourth.
Okay. All right. If you got a question about something, shoot me a text. We'll do the same.
Yeah, this is great. I appreciate your time. This is
If you want.
Facebook, Sal?
No, I don't do Facebook.
All right. Well, give him my number, Chris, and he can.
Yeah.
You can text me or whatever. Give him my email address and phone number, and you feel free to reach out to me anytime, Sal. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like, hey, you know what? That's how you learn.
We'll text you when we're doing a bond trade too, Keith.
There you go.
And do the same.
Real time?
So, yeah.
You're not going to say in a hypothetical situation?
No. While we're forward testing is what I mean. So if we're going to put one on, yeah, I know what you mean.
Send it out. Yeah, if we do it, he'll send it out like the night before.
Yeah, I'll shoot you a text, say, hey, we're taking this a setup bar today on bonds. And then if you're not taking it, let us know. Say, well, I'm not taking it, and then we'll compare it and see.
Yeah, I'm not taking last night's bar, by the way.
I didn't look at it. Where are we?
There was something that wasn't quite right.
That's 067, 057.
Oh man, I mean that shit's going sideways, like sideways.
Yeah, and it hasn't crossed. It's flat.
Even flat. The tail went into resistance on that big white candle right here. Again, this is what I call an inside bar. So this is this is support and resistance right here, and it keeps tagging it. It's tagged 1, 2, 3, 4 times, but hasn't broken through yet.
Yeah.
So you didn't put that trade on, right?
No, I wouldn't take this unless it definitively breaks down, or it would have to come back up and break up the other way.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I wasn't comfortable with it either.
Yeah, I mean, this is a sideways action, but now it's deciding what it wants to do. So the last time it did this, you can look right back in this area right here. It did break down, and we got a trade out of it.
Yep.
So if you look at this, it really kind of resembles this a little bit.
Yep.
But it didn't have as long a run up though. This had a long run up before it broke.
Yeah.
So basically, this just retested. This is a retracement right here.
So that pink box, would you call that a demand zone?
That's
No,
that's Fred took that trade. We want to be able to see it real quick.
Right. Do you think it's going to head back down to there?
if it breaks here, that would be my guess that that's exactly where it's heading, right back here.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of tiny resistance here. This is just a little sideways action. This is big, or support. This is much bigger support.
Yep.
So to me, if it breaks down, this is a tradable level all the way down to this line.
But it's got to punch through the bottom of that bull bar.
Right
that
here.
it's trading inside of. All those bars are trading inside of that big bull bar.
Yeah, this is called an inside bar, this big move up, and then it consolidated again. So this becomes resistance, this is support, and you can see it's tag.
Yeah, the resistance from the middle of December stopped the upward momentum.
Yeah, and then you got this on the upper side back here too. So this is really strong resistance up here.
A lot of profit taking right there.
Yeah, and then people took profits, and they probably piled back in. So now it's consolidating. If I were to guess, I would think it was going to break down. Now I can tell you exactly what they're doing today.
So today's bar, yeah, where is it? You look at it. What time frame do you look at when you look at intraday? Hourly, 5 minutes?
I'd look at the daily, and then I can go back to 10 minutes. So this is Fred stuff on bonds active today. It's still consolidating. It hasn't moved much today.
Yeah.
Where was the close yesterday? The close bar on the EOD, the close price on the EOD bar?
Close price was
The prices aren't exact, just so you know.
129.28.
They're close, 129.28.
Yeah, and so your range today was 129. It's up just a tiny bit. It got up to 130.
It's right there. It hasn't done anything really. It looks like it may have gone up. What's that big green bar? The big bull bar? What time frame is that? Or what hour is that? Or minute? No, the other way.
Oh, the other chart.
Yeah, go back to that chart. I'm pointing to the screen, but you can't see me. Yeah, that one right there.
That's the same bar that
That's same as the white one.
Is that a daily bar? I thought that was a 10-minute chart.
This is daily. So this is that big white bar, and then we have this inside action right here.
Okay, because it says 10-minute one. Oh, you got the daily. Yeah, this is a trading view.
Yeah, this is what I use.
Yeah, I have that. I have that too.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
I
use to look at
it?
intraday.
You can follow the commodities.
Change it to hourly. Yeah, no, I do. ZB1 exclamation. There we go. It's still at 130, so it's up a little bit.
Yeah.
On the current bar, it's 130.01. So that's up a little bit from the EOD close. And you see it was up. It was up higher. It went to about 130.18.
Yeah,
in that red bar.
So we got up to right here.
Yeah. So it's
The
still way within
the high of that bar. So
Right.
it's still, it was right there, but it's back down inside that last bar. Okay.
Cool.
So it's in here. So it's ranging right now, and these lines are going to stay on top of each other until it breaks either way.
Yep. So far, we've made the right decision to not take that trade.
Correct.
Yeah, I did. I wouldn't even. It wasn't even a consideration that when I looked at it.
No.
So again, these are my two lines. It's got to do something with.
I like that. I'm going to start using that. I really do. I saw you used it somewhere else. I think it was in corn maybe or something.
Yeah.
You got a big move, a big bar, and then you draw lines at the top and bottom of it.
Yeah, use the wicks.
Waiting for it to break out one way or the other.
Use the wicks, and it has to go out. Definitively to get out there. And then you can check volume and stuff like that. But even the trend on this hasn't been good lately. I mean, what's the ADX is at 19?
Yeah.
It's low, yeah. Because there's no trend, right? It's consolidating.
Yeah, there's none. It's flat. It's consolidating from this way sideways. It's going to do something.
Momentum on that big white bar, the bull bar, ADX was over 22. It was what? 29. It was strong there, but then it's been moving sideways and it's come down.
Yeah. So I was curious. Yeah, I was watching him to see if he was gonna take this, because technically that's white, and you broke out of this little bit of sideways movement. So I was curious to see if he was gonna take this one here. I didn't because of this here.
Right. I
No.
guarantee you he didn't take it.
Well, of course, because he looked at it the next day and said,
Anyway, all right, guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for the call.
Yeah.
This was a very good call.
Good, I'm
Thanks a
glad.
lot for putting it together, Chris. Sal, it was nice to meet you. Chris,
We'll do
please
more
be
of 'em.
sure to give Sal my email and phone number.
I will, and let's do a few more of these too. And if you're going to do a trade also, Keith, let us know, and
Absolutely.
then we'll tell you whether we thought the same or whether we were like, no, we're staying out for this reason. So we'll all get better at it.
Sounds good.
Cool.
"Sir, pleasure."
All right.
Okay.
Enjoy, Keith. Thanks, man.
Have a good rest of your day. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Sal, I'll call you later. Okay.
All right, buddy. Have a great one.